With me now is Alex Berenson. He's the author, as you know, of the Unreported Truths books that skyrocketed to the top of the Amazon bestseller lists because everyone is interested in unreported truths about COVID-19, what our government won't tell us. He was recently permanently banned from Twitter, so I thought, let's talk to him about that. Alex, good to see you.
It's nice to see you, Liz.
All right, Alex, this is the tweet, as you know, of course, but I want to make sure that everyone watching this knows. This is the tweet that got you permanently banned from Twitter. Unfortunately, I can't show you this part of the show, or the big tech overlords might delete this video and my channel. As you know, YouTube won't let me tell you the truth about COVID-19 or transgenderism and other important issues, even when I cite the specific studies. So if you want to watch the full uncensored version of this video, join me over on the Liz Wheeler Show community on Locals, lizwheelershow.com/locals. What exactly did they say to you before you got the notification that you couldn't tweet anymore?
So this is actually sort of interesting, Liz. I've received no notifications from Twitter about this. Now, previously, when I was warned, and you get 5 strikes on Twitter, so they'll send you a message saying this, this is what you said. In my case, it was always about COVID-19. We find this misleading. I can't remember the exact language, but this goes against public health statements on COVID-19. You're being locked out of your account. Further problems may get you banned. Further transgressions may get you banned. I have received no, as far as I can tell, and I've looked in my, my spam and everywhere else, I've received no notification from Twitter that I've been banned. So I'm actually guessing that that's the tweet, because they slapped a misleading label on it. And in previous instances, when they'd done that, that had then led to this warning coming. And I knew I was on my 5th strike. So I assumed that I was going to be banned.
And by the way, we do know that you've been permanently banned. This isn't an error, because I forget which of the mainstream media networks reached out to Twitter to ask them about your ban, but Twitter confirmed to one of, the alphabet soup mainstream media networks that you had in fact been permanently banned for, I believe they said, repeatedly violating their terms of service. And they specifically notated that it was violating their terms of service when it came to their COVID-19 so-called misinformation policy.
They said that to NBC.
Yeah,
that's
NBC.
Right.
That's right.
But I just don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. Did they ban me or the account? Like, and this happened. So, if I wanted to go on somebody else's account and use that, would I be allowed to, or would they ban that account too? They keep their terms sort of as close to the vest as possible and as vague as possible, and give themselves as much flexibility as possible. And if I do sue Twitter, that may become an issue. So
you've been open about the fact that you're investigating whether to take legal action here. What would be your case?
A great question. And, there's actually a couple of different causes I might have. On a pure First Amendment basis, there's the argument that Twitter is essentially a public square at this point. And Twitter's based in California, and there's a California case about a mall from 1980 where people wanted to protest the Vietnam War. It's a California state case. At a mall, and California found that even though this was a privately owned mall, they had a requirement to allow these peaceful protests because they were functioning as a town square. And the question would be: is cyberspace at this point our new town square? And so, are they a quasi-public space even though it's privately owned and operated? And that question is a very broad question in a way, because I'm not saying like I'm right or I'm wrong on the issues. I'm just saying I need to be allowed to have a chance to speak in this vital public forum. The second case would be the second cause would probably be more specific to me, which is that Twitter's defamed me. That each time they slap one of these warnings on, they're saying that I'm not a good reporter. That I'm worse than not a good reporter, that I'm providing misleading information. And, my stock in trade as a journalist is that I provide accurate and truthful information. And they are not just another voice. They are the owner and operator of this website or of this app. And so they're particularly powerful, and they are defaming me by doing that. And then finally, when they ban me, they're saying my voice is so negative it can't even be allowed on the site. And that is the ultimate defamation. Now, that is more specific to me, and it might turn into issues of, was what I was saying true? Can I prove it's true? Is there at least enough debate about what I'm saying that they can't say it's misleading? So that would be more almost that'd be a me specific and COVID specific case.
When you're talking about discovery, you have these emails. You and I talked about them. You even talked about them publicly from Twitter, from representatives at Twitter who said what you're saying, even your skepticism about vaccines, or your reporting, if you will, on the studies about the efficacy of vaccines, Twitter told you specifically that was not a problem. I believe still in this calendar year. Have you heard anything from that specific individual who sent you those emails?
So that was April. You're totally correct. And I reached out to them because I'm not talking about 5G. I'm not talking about crazy stuff. So actually, I'm really glad you raised this because this cuts to a third potential, cause, which is that Twitter is now not just a private property that must abide by the First Amendment, but an actual state actor, right? So months ago, Twitter was fine with what I was doing, and what I was doing has not changed. I asked hard questions about the vaccines in January, in February, in March, and I was not tagged with anything. Okay. It's only really since Jen Psaki said last month that they had this list of 12 people that I was not one of the 12, but 12 people spreading quote unquote misinformation or disinformation. And then Joe Biden said, Facebook is killing people. I think that's literally what he said. It was almost exactly that quote. It's only since then that Twitter has, began the process that led to my being suspended or banned.
Jen Psaki specifically said the administration was working with big tech to coordinate different people. They were flagging people's posts so that big tech would remove them. So Psaki admitted that they were colluding in a sense with big tech. So that, like I said, I mentioned that at the beginning, that's certainly a course of action that's being litigated in court right now. I would think that there would be some responsibility that would lie with big tech when they told you that what you were doing was fine and then subsequently banned you for the exact same thing.
Didn't ban me and really didn't, they don't give you any opportunity to cure. They don't tell you, hey, this is what you're doing that we don't like. And remember, I have a large account, or I had a large account on Twitter, a large and fast growing account that I think most people would agree was very widely viewed. It was viewed as a journalistic outlet. I broke news regularly. And when I reported on Israel last month, that kind of drove what was happening in Israel into the conversation. So they didn't ever say to me, look, we think what you're doing is okay in this way, but here's a problem that we have. No, and I guess, again, I don't know, they don't want to be in the position of quote unquote being a publisher. So they're not going to edit me. They'll just ban me.
So that's still an editorial role. Refusing somebody's content is an editorial role. It's not just a matter of rearranging phraseology or reordering paragraphs to serve as an editor here. Tell everyone what your Substack is, because you're gone from Twitter for the time being, but you're not going to be quiet. They can find all the same information on your Substack. What is the web address of that?
So the Substack, it's called Unreported Truths. And if you go to substack.com, which is a very sort of navigable site, you type in Alex Berenson or you type in Unreported Truths, you will see it. And again, you can read it for free. You can sign up for free, or you can sign up and pay. I just get there, take a look.
Read the information.
We are in a very important moment right now for free speech.
All right, read the information. AlexBerenson.substack.com. And also you have a book coming out on November 30th. People can find that, I believe, on Amazon, or for the time being at least, and wherever you get books. Go ahead and give that a pre-order for him in case big corporations smack that on too. Alex, it was great to talk to you today. Thank you for all the work you're doing. I know it's not easy, but we appreciate it.